Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is our daily NBA show that we've been doing with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Today is Friday, January 30th. We've got 9 games tonight. Joe Duffy, thanks for being back with us.
Thank you for having me on SBR Forum.
Yeah, all right. So tough. I passed yesterday. Tough loss for you. A double overtime game that you took the under on. We'll talk about the Bulls game tonight on a back-to-back. But in general, I know you're doing very well in basketball this year at your website, right, Joe?
Yeah, and appropriate because last night wasn't my all-time greatest premium picks day. I went 1 3, so that plummeted us to 58%. But we're kicking butt long-term as we've been doing for 27.5 years. Tonight we do have a wise guy play among 3 winners, 2 NBA and a college basketball at OffshoreInsiders.com, baby.
So neither one of those 2 plays is going to be the play that you can give us today. One of the plays you can give us today for free. I, though, am free to give my top pick of the day. I'm not sure what that's going to be. I'll tell you what I'm thinking about, Joe. First, I'm thinking about maybe the under in Houston, Boston. Right now it's 206.5. And, you know, Houston has not necessarily been an under-trending team, but without Howard, they've had 2 games in a row that have gone way under. Boston, of course, returning from a road trip. They may be a little bit lethargic. Kind of a high total in light of, you know, Boston's scheduling spot and how Houston has gone the last 2 games without Howard. I'm thinking about the under 206.5. What do you think, Joe?
I'd be a little bit careful because remember, Dwight Howard, he's a good 2-way player, but he's especially outstanding on defense.
Sure.
So, you know, they lose a lot on defense with him out. I don't really, I'm not going to talk you out of it, but I can't really corroborate it too much.
Right, but the last 2 games with him out, they've scored about 99, I think, and their opponents have scored in the 80s or something like that. So last 2 games with him out have gone way under by 20 points or more.
Yeah, no, and in fact, one of our premium picks, we talk about where a team has been really trending one way with or without a certain player. So no, but the 2 games, it's only 2 games, but yeah, all in all, when a team goes either under by a large total or covers by a large total, goes over, that we do consider the margin of cover greatly. So yeah, based on my metrics, that would be a pretty good play.
All right, I'll make it a play. An official pick for me: Houston, Boston under, currently 206.5. There's 207 at Heritage, but just there, so I won't give myself that. I'll give myself 206.5. Then I'm thinking about, you know, Phoenix right now -6. I kind of like them against Washington. Didn't have the balls to take them because the line was just a little bit 2.5. They did wind up getting the cover, and here they might be in a similar situation with a similar line at home, right? -6. The Bulls off of a on a back-to-back off of a double OT loss, and then 2 games before that they also had an OT game, and the Bulls are just kind of not playing a very inspired basketball right now. Phoenix at home -6. What do you think about that?
And not only that, but yeah, the Bulls, as you said, they're playing back-to-back. Also 3 games in 4 days with Phoenix rested. Jimmy Butler, another guy, we talked about him, rapidly improving player, one of those under-the-radar really good players. He is listed as questionable for tonight. I do agree with you there. If anything, I might lean even a little bit more towards the over, but that is not one of the plays that I'll be giving you today.
All right, well, I was actually leaning towards the under on that one. The Bulls actually are a pretty strong under trender on the road. But okay, fine. I'll take Phoenix -6, half because I'm just frustrated that I didn't have the balls to take Phoenix against Washington. So maybe they'll lose, but that'll be my second pick. Phoenix -6, and then 2 other plays I was thinking about. Can I get your opinions on 2 more, Joe Duffy?
You got it.
All right, the first one, the Atlanta Hawks, right? They are off of 2 straight ATS losses. They still got the wins, though. They were just, too big of a favorite in those games. But now they're back down to a single-digit favorite, -6.5 or 7 against Portland, who's kind of struggling a little bit right now. And I guess just always looking to bet on Atlanta when they're going up against a team that's 2-6 against spread in their last 8 games. That always feels like an attractive thing, right?
I'm going to avoid it. I had been riding Atlanta during that winning streak, but now they have a lot of the signs of being what I say it all the time, a dichotomous straight up an ATS team where they're winning, but now not covering. They're not sneaking under the radar quite as much. They still have the best net rating, though, over the last 8 games, which is plus 14.9. And again, net rating is the difference between offensive and defensive efficiency. Efficiency measured by points per 100 possessions. But the fact that they're 0-2 against the spread their last 2 games by a combined 8.5, and now that's not a large margin, but conversely, that's what happens when a team does become the dichotomous straight-up an ATS team, that they're a little bit overvalued, so they're failing to cover by a very small margin. So it's kind of making me nervous. Right now, I'm probably going to avoid the Hawks. But long term, yeah, they've been a tremendous bet.
All right, I'll pass on that one. And then the other one that has me thinking is Dallas-Miami, right? Dallas-Miami both have they're kind of in a tailspin, right? They're both banged up, and the Mavs have lost 4 in a row against the spread. Miami has a bad ATS record at home, and they've lost their last 3 in a row against the spread. The only thing that makes me wonder about this game is Miami as an 8.5-point home underdog. Miami sucks and they're banged up, but Dallas sucks and they're banged up, or at least they suck against the spread right now. Should Miami really be getting 8.5 points at home? I'm thinking maybe not. Maybe Miami's a good bet. What do you think?
One of the plays I'm going to give you isn't on the side, but I do like the under here, where Miami is going under 29 and 16 for the year, minus 4.2 points per game. But more importantly, lately they've been a big under team. They've gone under 11-1 with 6 unders by 13.5 or more. Dallas is going under 9-3-1 recently, 4 of them by 17.5 or more. And Miami, their last 12 games, they've got the number 6 defense in the league, allowing 98.5 points per 100 possessions, but the 6th worst offense in the league at getting 97.4 points per possession. And, we said last year that one of the more deceptive statistics, a lot of people thought that Miami, when they were winning their championships, when LeBron was there, they were a great defensive team. In part, that was because they always played that half-court game, so there weren't a lot of possessions. But now they still play that very slow pace. And obviously, their great offensive weapon is going, and Dwayne Wade, of course, has been banged up. So we agree on this game that there's a pretty good bet, but mine is going to be on the under.
All right, 190.5 is the current line, and I guess, fine, I'll take plus 8.5. Maybe I'll get a little bit of help from the refs giving, Miami playing at home on a Friday night. Maybe the refs will give a couple calls, give a little break, and keep Miami within single digits at least. All right, so I'll give 3 picks. Miami plus 8.5, Phoenix minus 6, and then Houston, Boston under 206.5. And so far, Joe Duffy, you've given us Dallas, Miami under 190.5. Is that the only pick you want to give us today, or is there anything else you want to discuss?
My other play is going to be Golden State and Utah to go. I'm sorry, it's going to be Utah against Golden State. The Warriors, yes, they do. They're kind of like Atlanta, where all of a sudden the odds makers are catching up to them. They have the best net rating over the last 15 games of plus 17. But one of our many weapons is, I'm a big believer in some contrarian plays, and the couple of the metrics I use to measure it, most of them are available publicly, but then also with some contacts for some outlaw stuff. Everybody, all my sources are saying that the money's coming in on Golden State, which means the contrarian says to go with Utah. And not only, maybe you'll see around the internet, a lot of people, we explain in depth why contrarian does work. So the Jazz are a pretty good contrarian play. And, keep in mind that the Warriors, much like the Hawks, where maybe the odds makers are catching up to them, they've got 2 straight spread losses by a combined 28.5 points ATS. So Golden State, maybe like Atlanta, finally they've reached the point of diminishing return, and with it being very much a good contrarian play, I'll go with Utah as a free pick.
All right, right now 9.5 and 10 are both widely available market numbers, so we can give you a Utah plus 10 for the purposes of this video. All right, Joe Duffy's given us 2 free picks, Utah plus 10 and Miami under 190.5, and I've given 3 picks, and you also have 2 other top picks that don't have anything to do with anything we've talked about so far at your site today.
Yeah, no, I was glad you didn't even allude to those games, so I didn't have to say anything. Yeah, I got 2 NBA plays plus a college basketball, all for one price, $17, much cheaper for long-term packages. Got the Super Bowl side and total, including a Wise Guy play up as well at offshoreinsiders.com.
All right, sounds great. Thanks so much, Joe. Talk to you Monday.